Hello my darlings, and welcome to my spell candle series. Today I'm going to create a spell candle for protection. This candle can be used to protect your home or sacred space, or in any magical workings for protection. Let's do some magical crafting. This video is part of a series wherein I create 12 different spell candles and talk about the magical properties of the ingredients in each one. If you're interested in more candle magic videos, I'll link to a playlist below. I'll also link to all of the materials I used to make this spell candle below the video. Spell candles are used in witchcraft, voodoo, hoodoo, and all kinds of magic, ritual, and spellcraft. You can add oils, herbs, crystals, colors, or symbols as you craft your candles to align with your magical goals. Most importantly, as you create your candle, infuse it with your intention. If your traditions call for it, you may wish to bless your candle, chant or speak words while creating it, invoke a deity, or pray over it. I begin by weighing out my wax. I'm using flakes of soy wax. I'm measuring out 4 ounces of wax. This amount of wax will nicely fill this 5-ounce glass jar. Jar sizes are based on volume, and candle wax is measured by weight. A 5-ounce jar will hold 4 ounces of wax based on weight. You can check online for the amount of wax you'll need for the container that you've chosen for your candle. I've chosen this jar because it has a wide opening so that I can add my ingredients to the top of the candle artfully and make it aesthetically pleasing. And also because it will be easy to fill and not likely to tip over when lit for fire safety. I've created a Book of Shadows page for this particular spell candle recipe. If you'd like to download a PDF of any and all of my grimoire pages, you can visit Magical Crafting on Patreon at the link below the video. My patrons can download recipes, Book of Shadows pages, artwork, and more, all provided as PDFs. And I continue to add new downloadable content as I do more projects on the channel. I'm melting the wax over a very low heat. As you make your candle, melt your wax slowly over a low heat and do not boil or burn your wax. If you see any smoke, your wax is burning. Turn the heat down. Another option is to use a double boiler setup to slowly melt your wax. As you wait for the wax to melt, this is the perfect time to add your energy and intention as you stir the melting wax. When making your own protection spell candle, you should incorporate the ingredients you have on hand that provide the effects that you want in your candle. You do not have to include all of the ingredients that I show in this video. As always, my tutorials should only be a starting point for you to develop your own craft. I encourage you to use what feels right for you and what you have access to. Once the wax is completely melted, it's time to add the ingredients you want inside your candle. Make sure to turn the heat off before adding anything to the wax. You may wish to add an essential oil or a perfume oil to scent your candle. This is an optional step, as many people like to leave their candles unscented for many reasons, including potential allergies. I'm using patchouli oil to add the magic of the flower and to add a subtle, deep, musky scent as the candle burns. As I add my oil, and as I stir it into the wax, I add my energy and intention and visualize the finished candle. Patchouli is most often used in love, lust, and fertility magic. It's also a powerful money attractor. However, I'm adding patchouli for its protective qualities. I'm also adding a pinch of this sage to the wax. Sage is a powerful magical herb which has been used for hundreds of years as a cleansing and purifying herb. Its magical energies make it a great choice for protection spells and it's also powerful when used in money and abundance spells. I make sure that this element is ground up very finely to almost a powdery consistency between my fingers before adding it to the wax. Always make sure that when you're adding ingredients that they will be fire safe. If you'd like to add dried herbs or flowers, spices or resins, make sure to grind them up very finely before adding them. This way they will incorporate into the wax and not produce a large clump or chunk that might catch on fire and burn unpleasantly. I'm also adding black pepper for protection. You can use ground pepper or whole peppercorns, which will settle on the bottom of the candle. The black peppercorn is considered to have protective properties as well as cleansing energy. It can be infused into purifying washes for the home and protection candles, talismans, and amulets. I'm also adding black salt. Black salt combines the protective and purifying aspects of salt with charcoal to absorb negativity and evil intent. I have a separate video on how to make black salt, and I'll link to that below. Once you've included the ingredients you want inside the candle, it's time to add a color. I'm using a color that corresponds to the kind of magic I will do with my candle. In this case, for a protection candle, I'm adding several drops of black colorant. Black is used by witches to ward off negative energy or harm from yourself or someone you love. The wax will lighten as it cools, going from clear to white. The cooling process will also lighten whatever color you've added. Make sure to add enough colorant to the wax to make the liquid wax appear darker than the final color you desire. Next, it's time to pour the wax into the container you're using to hold your candle. Ensure that you're using a fire-safe container and never use plastic or anything flammable. I'm putting a small piece of removable mounting putty on the bottom of my candle wick to stick it to the jar. I'm adding a binder clip to the top of the wick to hold it straight up. I slide 2 chopsticks under the binder clip on each side of the wick to create a straight up and down wick that will not droop. You could also tie the wick to a chopstick or skewer, or use a clothespin to hold the wick. Whatever you have at home that works with your container. Then slowly and carefully pour the wax in and scoop in any of the ingredients that have settled to the bottom. Leave your candle to cool and for the wax to firm up. The wax in my 5-ounce candle becomes somewhat firm in about 1 hour. The amount of time will vary depending on the size of your candle. Smaller candles will cool more quickly. Once the wax is cooled, you can add ingredients to the top of your candle. I like to use a heat gun to melt a little bit of the surface wax to adhere glitter, gemstones, herbs, and flowers to the top. I'm adding a dark silver obsidian glitter to the candle to add a bit of sparkle to the top. I love to add glitter to all of my crafts. I'm also adding obsidian gemstones. Because it comes from volcanoes, obsidian holds both earth and fire energy. A strongly protective stone, it forms a shield against negativity. It blocks psychic attacks and absorbs negative energies from the environment. Obsidian is most often used in protection magic. I'm also adding a few more black peppercorns and some black salt to the top of the candle. If you decide to add anything potentially flammable to the top of your candle, make sure that it's placed well away from the wick where the flame will be. I like to place all of my herbs around the outside of the candle, touching the glass of the jar for fire safety. A candle created magically in your sacred space and with great intention can bring extra power and purpose to your magic. There are several ways to use your spell candle. It's perfect for any protection spell work. You may wish to use it during a home protection ritual or during meditation, prayers, or divination. Focus energy toward visualizing your goal happening as you light your candle and as it burns. When the candle has completely burned through, you may wish to remove the gemstones, which are now infused with the energy of your intention. Keep them and use them in further magical workings, or give them back to the earth. Always practice fire safety when burning any candles. I have left some important fire safety tips below this video.